Start with the champ, please. Alex, just wanted to ask you, you've had a chance to fight Israel Adesanya 3 times now, but just once in MMA. I'm curious kind of what you learned in the last fight or what surprised you in the last fight that you weren't aware of before.
Bom, sempre aprendendo, né? Foi uma luta dura. Eu aprendi que eu tenho que estar mais atento. Todo mundo sabe que o Adesanya é um cara perigoso, é um cara experiente, é um cara inteligente. Então vem aprendendo muito e eu sei que eu tenho que ficar mais esperto com ele.
Always learning in my life. I know that Adesanya is a dangerous, complete fighter, someone who's always taking advantage of opponents' weaknesses. I have to be more attentive to him, always paying attention because he can do things.
And Alex, of course, you're already 3-0 against Israel. You are the champion at this point. So what's at stake here for you? I mean, what does this fight mean to you?
Bom, eu não estou vendo essas 3 lutas que passaram porque, como eu falei, ele é um cara experiente, ele foi o ex-campeão, ele é o ex-campeão. Então, se eu chegar dentro daquele octógono e eu não fizer nada do que eu treinei, ele vai ganhar de mim. Então eu tenho que esquecer essas lutas e agora vai ser uma próxima luta e eu estou preparado.
I'm not thinking about those 3 fights. As I said, he's a former champion, a great champion, a very dangerous fighter. If I keep those 3 fights in my head, I'm not going to do things the way I needed to. I trained for this one. I'm prepared for this new fight.
And Israel, for you, I wanted to ask you a similar question as well. Obviously, you've had 3 fights with Alex at this point. I mean, was there anything in the mixed martial arts contest that surprised you or was different than you expected, or do you feel like you know this man 100% at this point?
I'd say his recovery and his fighting spirit. That's something that I definitely felt like he surprised me with. But Saturday night, time for talking is done. I'm going to show him my fighting spirit. And you all know I have that shit.
And for you, Izzy, on Saturday, what is most important to you? Is it about regaining the UFC title and being world champion again, or is it simply beating
Fuck the belt. I'm coming for his head.
After you won the title back in November, you exploded in Brazil. Ever since, so Davidson lost his title, and Glover couldn't have the chance to regain the title again. Not for you, but for UFC, now that we have a new partnership in Brazil and UFC Fight Pass in Brazil, how important is this, not just for you, but for Brazil to regain the status?
Depois de 2 jogos perderam cinturões, a resposta é em você. O que você fala sobre isso?
É muito importante, né? Um mega evento desse daqui. Um pouco mais de 20 anos aí que esse evento não acontecia em Miami. Então está sendo muito bem visto, está um card recheado e é uma luta que todo mundo está querendo ver. Uma outra luta minha com o Israel Adesanya e a gente vai proporcionar momentos bons para você, um show de luta para vocês.
A great fight, a loaded card, a great crowd. Everybody here, ever since for 20 years, that hasn't been here. On Saturday, we're going to give you, myself and Adesanya are going to put on a show for all of you here in the arena. Hey, champion, do you think it's going to be more of a psychological fight or a physical fight?
Então, vai ser uma luta psicológica e física. Todo mundo sabe, né? Eu falo para vocês que a gente tem que esquecer essas 3 lutas que passaram. Mas o Adesanya, ele nunca vai esquecer essas lutas. Aconteça o que aconteça, ele nunca vai esquecer. Então eu uso isso ao meu favor, mas o principal vai ser no sábado.
It's going to be a physical fight. It's going to be a psychological fight. I've said as many times, we have to forget all those 3 fights. But I know he hasn't forgotten any of those 3 fights. And I think that's going to be a psychological factor. The important thing is what you're going to see on Saturday.
Go ahead.
Question for the former champion, Israel Adesanya. When you stand at the podium making your Hall of Fame speech one day, where do you visualize this fight camp, this soon-to-be war for UFC 287 ranking among the career milestones?
You mean the fight camp or the fight?
The fight.
This fight, like I've said, this is my 8-mile moment. This is it. One more shot at this. I put everything on my back. I've done everything in my power to make sure I do the worst thing to this man this weekend. I'm done with this talking shit. You guys want to hear me talk or you want to hear me fight?
Ele fez isso nas últimas 3 lutas. Ele falou a mesma coisa e não fez.
Who did this the past 3 fights? He said the same things and the result was that.
You don't even understand what I said, not understand what you said. What's going to happen this weekend is we're going to fight and see who the best man is at the end.
Ele me faz rir.
He makes me laugh. Alex, when those doors close on Saturday, you're going to be looking at a guy that you beat 3 times. He's going to be looking at a guy that beat him 3 times. How much of a factor does that go into play? And have you ever faced a situation like that?
Com certeza isso vai me ajudar muito. Desde a primeira luta que eu tive com ele, ele viu a minha evolução. Eu assisti a algumas lutas daquele tempo pra cá. Esse cara não mudou muito, mudou pouca coisa. Eu mudei totalmente. E ele sabe que eu mudei. E ele sabe o quanto eu sou perigoso.
Of course, that's going to play a big thing on Saturday. Ever since, this guy has seen how much I've evolved from fight 1 to fight 3. And I've watched a lot of fights from back in the day, and I have evolved so much. He has not changed a lot. And he understands how dangerous and how much I can do. And when as for Alex, last time you came in as a challenger, now you come in as a champion. How does that change your mind for a fight on Saturday?
Na mesma coisa, eu sempre agressivo, todo mundo que sabe do meu trabalho, sabe que eu vou pra cima o tempo todo, cercando o tempo todo, e é o que eu vou fazer. Eu não vou pensar, eu sou o campeão, o cara tem que vir pra cima. Não, vamos buscar também.
Everybody knows me, that's not going to change. Always aggressive, always pushing forward. I'm not a guy that thinks I'm the champion. I'm going to go after it as if it was the first time.